Today, we're asking the question, how can we clean wastewater as effectively and inexpensively as possible while also reclaiming contaminants for reuse? We're trying to clean the wastewater and filter it so that it can be reused, and we can also reuse the contaminants. Some of the things we used during the lab in our first test was large gravel, small pebbles, sand, coffee filters, and a cheesecloth. We thought that the cheesecloth would be like our main filter system, while the large gravel and small pebbles and sand would kind of catch some of the contaminants. During our first test, we actually had a little bit of a hard time here.
Okay, guys.
And you can see the wastewater. It's quite foamy in our filtered cheesecloth, and it's not very full. And it goes through rather quickly, as seen in the video here. Yeah, just pour it all in there, Faith. You can see it's filtering rather quickly, and that actually seemed to be one of our main problems. The quicker it filtered, the dirtier the wastewater came out. It didn't get very clean. And here's the view from the top. You can see some of the contaminants floating on the top. So the pebbles and the gravel are doing its job for kind of catching those so that way they can be reused.
So I just poured our water in. Here's what the water...
Faith was describing what it looked like, and you can still see all of the chunks that are left up above. And this is what it looks like when it was filtering through. You can see it's still very foamy, and the water is not very clear whatsoever.
Look at it!
Yeah, it's still very yellow, and we even had it on the Secchi disc, and as you can see, it's still very murky and yellow and foamy, so it's not clean for drinking. We then revised, and this is our new filtration system. We've got a couple more layers, so we now have large gravel, small pebbles, a layer of charcoal, and then a layer of sand, charcoal, and then coffee filters and the cheesecloth. One thing that we did that made a big difference is we rinsed our materials multiple times till the water ran clear, so that way it did not affect our product. And this is actually the result of our new model. This is the result of our new model. It's much clearer. As you can see, there's hardly any bubbles around the edge, and it's still not safe for drinking, but it is improvement. And you can see here that we have a lot more materials, and it's catching a lot more of the, you could say, sediment and contaminants at the top. And if you look at the bottom, you can see it's coming through quite clear, and it's dripping rather slowly. This is it at the top. It's catching them a lot more. And that was our final design. We made these changes because we did not have enough. We really did not have enough to filter through the water and kind of make it filter through slower, because the slower it went, the cleaner the water got. And if we were to do a third design, we would probably maybe add a couple more coffee filters or even some more charcoal, because the charcoal seemed to make a big difference. but what was important was that we rinsed the charcoal and made sure the water ran through it clear first, because if it did not, it would affect the JTU of the water if you put it on a Secchi disc. And I don't think the water would be very clean for drinking, but it would take a lot more tests to get it just right. But overall, I do think it was a success because we did see great improvement. And it worked rather well. I think if we ran it through a couple more times, it would come out much clearer.